in just a moment. She's the famous matriarch of the Kemp family, but she's also one half of 80s pop duo Pepsi and Shirlie. Shirlie Kemp joins us to reveal the secret to their lifelong friendship, as well as reminiscing how a friendship with geeky George Michael led to her meeting her future husband, Martin. We'll see you shortly. Time for today's guest, Shirlie Kemp. She's the wife of Martin Kemp and Monty presenter and loose man Roman. But long before life with her family, she was touring the world performing some of the biggest hits of the 1980s.
Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go. Touch of your colored drinks are free. Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone.
Celebrating 40 years in the business with fellow bandmate Pepsi, here to tell us more, it's Shirlie Kemp. Hello and welcome. Do you know what? When you hear all of that and you go back, we were all like, oh, I love this, and you go back to your youth. Is it like that for you?
It's like a different person. But, yeah, someone else. But when I look back, I remember that joy and how I love fashion. Yeah. All those things that meant everything to me then don't necessarily mean that to me now. But, yeah, it's always fantastic.
Well, finally...
Past, isn't it?
It is quite a past.
Well, finally, you and Pepsi...
I'm so impressed. I know, I'm just in awe of you, really.
Finally, you and Pepsi have done this book together, Pepsi and Shirlie. It's all in black and white, Wham! Life and Friendship. Look at that picture even, is amazing.
Raunchy, isn't it?
I love it, the fashion and everything.
It's all PVC.
How was it reliving all of that?
It was very therapeutic. I think everyone should write a book, to be honest with you, because you just kind of live life and you're always in a rush, and it's really quite nice to look back at things that have happened and learn lessons. What I didn't realise writing a book was how close and how much I was to my dad, like my dad, because in real life I didn't have a good relationship with my dad. And writing that book, I thought, my dad has influenced me more than I ever knew. But I would never have worked that out unless I'd kind of sat down and written the book. Also, like listening to Pepsi's story of her childhood was another kind of endearing thing, because we do talk, but just reading it, like the way she talked about Martin used to go to the bathhouse.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a bathhouse. I thought he was joking. And then Pepsi's going, yeah.
Mungaroe.
Yeah, she's going, I had to go to the bathhouse when I was younger. I was going, well, you didn't have a bath either. Then she said, the funny thing is, we used to have a bath, and my mum used to cover me in talcum powder. She goes, I never understood. I'd come out looking completely grey, but I'd had the bath, so why did she cover me in talcum powder? But in the 70s, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Talcum powder. You would be smothered in talcum. We don't do that now, do we? I don't think anyone uses talcum. So it's just funny little things.
I just want to ask you, the title is It's All About Black and White. That's a bit of a conversation starter. It is. Obviously. Yeah. Was there anything to do with race in there, or was it...?
I think it was, open to that. I think it was about... Well, whenever I was younger, people would say, it's always in black and white to you, isn't it? So that just meant that I could see things either clearly or I didn't. Right. But then I said, a black girl and a white girl who our colours never... It was all in black and white. You can take it that way. It never meant anything to us. We were just friends. Yeah. So... Yeah, that was how kind of the title came up.
It's interesting, though, that you say that, you spent all that time with Pepsi. You were always together for a long, long time. And yet when you were reading the book, there was so much you didn't know, and all the photos and looking at her.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd never seen her baby pictures.
Well, exactly.
Oh, my God, I was like, oh, Pep, you're gorgeous, because you just don't kind of go, have you seen my baby pictures, unless there's a reason to do it.
So you did the book together, because you wrote a book with Martin as well, didn't you?
With Martin, yeah. But remember, this is all in lockdown. This is good things to do in lockdown. And,
well done.
Yeah.
Everyone else just sat around watching Netflix.
I'm a very active person. I can't bear not doing anything. So the way we kind of wrote the book was photos. We sat down and watched, because Pepsi lives in St Lucia. That's why she's not here today.
Oh, how terrible.
So it's terrible for her. I know. Caribbean islands. I know. We would be writing some days, and I'm sat by my fire with a jumper on, and she's got palm trees blowing behind her.
Oh.
So
how did you remember stuff, though? Because most of us, I think, here have written a book. But remembering things is quite hard, actually. I use music quite a lot, actually, to trigger memories of certain times.
Basically, going back to the photos.
Yeah.
Because Pepsi actually took a lot of photos when we were younger, so she was holding things up. And that was just triggering everything. But also our stylist, when we did all the puffball thing, we called her. And she was going, do you remember? She was telling us about the outfits that we didn't realise, how the puffball came about because it was a mistake. She was taking it up for Pepsi and she left it, but Pepsi came out wearing it still as she had tacked it.
Oh, really?
And we looked and went, that looks amazing. We love that. So that's how, and then I forgot that. So
I find it really interesting reading the book as well, how you got to know, because you went to school, didn't you, with George and Andrew?
Yeah, I was the year above them, though.
And you just thought of them, especially George, as this geek.
The geeky boys, yeah.
Going into violin lessons.
Yeah. Well, my form room was his music room. So whenever we used to come out in the mornings, you'd have all the music kids with their violin cases. And I always remember him standing there with, never really just thought, oh, the younger kids, go in with your violin cases. And then to look, especially when he was in his faith period, when he was so cool with the leather jacket, he'd hit America. That was like, wow, who would have known? That was the little boy that I remember from school.
And didn't he introduce you to Martin?
Well, what happened was we all met at a theatre, and then there was a wine bar in Islington called Cheers.
Yep.
Don't know if you remember that? Essex Road, yeah. And Martin was there and he gave me his phone number, and George is like going, oh, it's what you know. George knew I fancied him. Yeah. But I was too scared to call because you have to ring the house phone because we didn't have mobiles in those days. So after 3 weeks, George says, have you called him yet? I went, no. So we were at his house, he picked up the phone and went there. And his mum answered. And I was like, oh, I'm sure that he's getting calls, 10 a day. And then he came to the phone and he went, I've been waiting for you to call me. Oh. And my heart, I just thought, yeah. And George is still standing in front of me whilst I'm trying to talk. I'm going, out, get out.
That's the right answer, wasn't it?
So, yeah.
So some of the things that I've read about, I didn't know that you went to America and you had Chaka Khan supporting you.
Wow.
Supporting
you. That was crazy, I remember, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Pepsi and I were just standing watching her rehearsals like two little girls, like,
well, yeah.
This is crazy, yeah.
And there must be so many great things, like when you look back at your past and you just think,
Did it happen?
Was that me?
Yeah,
I was there, because you're just sitting here, you're Shirlie, and it's like...
I'm very normal, very grounded. Yeah, it didn't affect me, but...
You must have a highlight, though. You have a highlight.
You know what? I remember being told we're going to America, because you grow up and you're watching all the American TV shows as a kid. I loved anything American growing up. And with that first aeroplane and going to this hotel on Sunset, couldn't wait to order the food. I mean, it sounds silly, but that's that's my highlight.
Yeah.
So what's the food like? We were in America, and my mum crying. And I remember because we lived on this small estate, and the first time they sent a limousine, I was so embarrassed because the whole street came out to look at the limousine, and my mum's like, "There's Shirlie." It was like, "Everyone, come on, wave Shirlie off."
My girl.
That's right.
I have to, of course, mention Roman, who's a loose man.
I know. Yes.
How's he doing? And
he's good.
I was reading that he's hoping to make enough money where he can stay at home and raise babies and rescue dogs.
I think that's what he would like to do.
Is it?
Yeah. No, he's still up. But both my kids are real workaholics. Whenever I call them, it's like, no, I'm working. Can you come over? No, I'm working. So, yeah, they're out there being very busy.
Well, do you know what, Shirlie? I could spend another hour on its own just talking to you because the book is fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. That's Pepsi, Shirlie. It's all in black and white. Get that now. Thanks again, Shirlie.
Thank you. It's lovely being here.
I love
Thank you.
Back to you.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,